Hi, it's Kelly Sue with Cleopatra, and this is a Monday tutorial, and I think you're gonna like it. It's how to paint gnome beards in the hair, and it can just translate to so many different things. So I'm gonna go ahead and point the camera down. We're gonna get started. I don't think we have to have the camera flipped at all today. So what I did was I have a wooden gnome beard, and you can do this on canvas as well. It's just that wood takes the process just a little bit better. I traced it 2 times because I'm going to do 3 different techniques, and I pre-painted it with a medium gray, and I only did 1 coat. So let me pop on here so I can totally answer any questions if I can see them today. Hello, Facebook. Boom. And Rooster is sleeping, so hopefully I can get everything finished by the time he awakes. Okay, so again, so this is what I'm talking about. How to get the hair technique happening on here with very little effort. I mean, very, very little. And I'm going to show you 3 different techniques. If you have a couple bucks, you can get on Amazon, and they have a 3-pack of a Rake brush, and they are in different sizes, and you can kind of see that there are pieces removed from the paintbrush to make it look like a rake. That makes it really easy, but it's not necessary to have that paintbrush. A chip brush, mine's a 1-inch because my space is bigger, smaller if you have them. A fan brush if you're any good at them. There are differences in fan brushes, one soft and one stiff. The stiffer one's the one you want. I'm not showing that technique today. And then, of course, a flat paintbrush that's not soft. It's more like a boar's head material that you let get kind of crusty. And you try to clean it out, but it didn't really get cleaned out, if you know what I mean. That would be what you need today. Okay, so I pre-painted everything a medium gray. And let's get started. So I typically like to do a wet on wet technique, and that means I like to put a dried base coat, step 1. Step 2 is to repaint it rather quickly, and before it dries, add some texture. So I have a bigger paintbrush that I used, and I'm just gonna go in there and just quickly paint it. Now this beard kept stretching in size as I traced it, then as I painted it, but you guys are gonna get, you get it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I couldn't see having John cut me 3 pieces of wood when he's already so busy. And I would say this is probably was our number 2 question, and it's now probably our number 1 question. All right, step 1, paint the backboard, your base coat color. Step 2, paint it again. I could have used white, but I used gray. Before it dries, so I need to stop talking, you're gonna come in here with the colors in your beard. So, you could go with, browns. You didn't have to stick with white and black, but let's keep it easy. So I got white, titanium white, and a Mars black, so it's pretty dark black. And I'm just gonna use my rake brush first. All right, so I'm gonna come in here with my rake brush. It's about very little paint on your paintbrush. That's too much. So I'm gonna pretty much take all that off. While it's wet, I'm gonna start past my beard. I'm just gonna put some streaks in here, some sexy silver fox streaks. The gray is going to soften it so it's not super black. So I'm also gonna hold my paintbrush skinny ways. That's what you see here and here. And kind of pull out these tendrils. So you can even kind of start backwards. Just don't let yourself get too much paint on that paintbrush. Oop. And then fill in. Most people stop after 1 or 2 and they go, Kelly Sue, this doesn't look very good. Hold on, while I'm here, I am going to, nope, Where is, oh, here it is, the magic wand. Cancel. I was gonna try to see if I could flip the camera, but it's being weird today. So no, I might not be able to flip the camera in a group setting. That's okay, I'll remember for next time. So a lot of times people just put 1 or 2 brush strokes, or they leave it completely unstroked at the top. And if you don't have a nose to cover it, it will look a little interesting. Okay, you could stop there, but why? So next step is to, I lightly clean my paintbrush with a wet wipe I keep handy. And you want to go with the brush stroke of the brush. You don't want to do circles or mess up the design of the paintbrush. I'm going to come in here before it's dry and just go in here and do it again. If you have a very ugly section, pick up some gray, the original color, and go in. So the brush stroke is very interesting with the rake brush. It almost makes it so easy for you. Amazon, $3 or $4. I am not getting a commission for this. Amazon, you should probably give me a commission for this. You probably sold 3 million from me. It's okay. All right, so step 1 was the backer board. Step 2 is putting the larger texture in. So that's step 2. Step 3 is taking a small paintbrush and putting some of the smaller doodads in. So I have a liner brush. It hasn't been used, it's a little crusty. And I'm just gonna go in and put some smaller tendrils. Now, here it's skipping a little bit. It just means I don't have enough moisture on my paintbrush. So I dipped it in water and pulled out a little paint and mixed that water in. I didn't try to water down all my paint, guys. Okay, and do you see how I'm spinning this? If you feel like that's too advanced, it's not. I literally am keeping my paintbrush between my thumb and my first finger, and I'm spinning back and forth. Practice on paper, okay? I like to take my finger in and soften it. Right away, I'm gonna say, because I'm not outlined, I might wanna go back and outline just a little bit. This would be more like something I would do on canvas. Just pulling it out. You're gonna do this with the black, you're gonna do it with the white. Again, it's all skippy here. That means I don't have enough moisture in my paintbrush. That was pretty simple. It wasn't difficult. I'm gonna come in with a little bit of white. Whoop, whoop. Just little curves. Remember to put a little love at the top. Super simple. The only other thing I did with this one is I brought out the tulip. That's the slick, squeezy, puffy paint. It's technically dimensional fabric paint. I use it on wood. You can use it on canvas if you want to. The only thing is, you know, sometimes if I get a little Hulk-like with it, it squeezes everywhere. But it does add dimension, and if you can master that, and practice on some stuff. If you can master that, then it's just a fun little additive that you can put onto your work. So let me clean this really quick. So that was with the rake brush. So I'm gonna put this here. That's the rake brush. Next, we're gonna use, I have a very large beard, so my paintbrush is large. I don't think I have this in smaller sizes, number 1. But most people have a dollar store chip brush hanging out at the house. It's very basically the same thing. You're gonna use your larger paintbrush to paint it again. And I'm only showing you wet on wet in this tutorial. Sounds naughty, but it means wet paint on wet paint. So I have my first coat on, it's dry. I'm repainting it, and before it dries, I'm gonna put some texture in there. The texture is going to go in the direction of the beard, hopefully. And then I'm going to put in some detail pieces. I probably should have thought that through the first one, but I think you get it. So before it dries, I'm gonna come in. I dabbed a little. I'm trying to put this someplace you can see it, but I'm gonna get rid of most of it. I didn't take a lot. I didn't goop it up. I'm just gonna come in and start putting in some texture. Okay, where my piece is narrow, I'm gonna squeeze my bristles. So if you have a lot to paint, this would be the paintbrush of choice, most likely for me. But the biggest mistake I see people make is they scoop up the paint. They go right in. Don't go right in. Just take some off. Okay, you can repeat this with the white if you wish. I'm not gonna, just because of brevity. Keep it brief, keep it brief. That baby's gonna wake up. Kind of missing the white. It's gonna just make gray because I have black on my paintbrush. Yeah, it's just gonna make gray anyway. Just gonna put a little, use a little bit of a silver fox, not much. Okay, what do you do if you got a big globby section? Just come in and add some gray to it. Add some black. Start over. But honestly, I personally care for it. All right, so next, tiny little detail brush. I'm gonna pull out my beard a little bit more. I didn't super overly outline this. I just did it a little bit. You can take your finger and you can soften, or you can actually pick up some more paint. And I enjoy doing this technique also with your finger. Just go in there and blend the lines. Then you're gonna use your small paintbrush, and the third step is to add the little detail tendrils, the little tiny unbehaving pieces. Don't forget to add some water if your paint, number one, if your paintbrush is really small, or your paint is drying quickly. So super simple. So I can see right away, I am leaving this space here with no paint. It's gonna look awkward. So make sure you go off the board a little bit and in. And then just keep working on that until it doesn't look awkward. Most people stop too soon. How do you know you went too far? When all the colors are over mixing and making one color, you went too far. Okay, so that's number 2, and that's with the chip brush, which I put in water and I shouldn't have. Okay, and the chip brush. I don't know if you can still see if I push this off. Okay, the third one is with a stiff brush that Mama didn't take care of, and it's okay. You got pulled away like we do, because it's 100 different directions a day, I swear, right? Pull that down. You can still see, I think. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in, again, we're doing wet on wet technique. So I have my base coat, I'm coming in quickly. Guys, if you're coming in slow and you're drinking a margarita while you're doing this step, or maybe you go watch 50 Shades of Grey, or walk away to talk to somebody, you're gonna have to just do this step again. It's necessary that this coat is wet because it will mellow down any mistakes you have. It's a great beginner's technique, and I actually can do other techniques, but I prefer this because it gets me in and out. So once again, I have a paintbrush. It's not soft bristled, it's more like the boar's head. It wasn't taken care of, hello me, or my staff, shame, shame. Not today, not today, it's Monday. I have a use for this. It's not so stiff that the bristles are stuck together. I tried to clean it, it's saying, eh. Okay, so I'm going again into my black, just a little, bounce some off. Okay, please take a second to put a little bit of love off the top. Okay, that might have been too much. I didn't really clean it, but I'm not worried because I have some techniques. I didn't come straight down. I'm putting a little bit of swing into my paintbrush. Okay, if it's too wide, take your paintbrush skinny ways. Ta-da. So you will find the technique that works for you. Eek. Hold on. Okay, that was with one color. I'm gonna lightly clean my paintbrush, get most of that black off of there. I'm gonna go into white, scrape off the extra, and do the same thing. And using 3 different paintbrushes, so to speak, you can get very similar looks with the same technique. Point being, you don't have to run out and get something fancy. We know we all have a paintbrush that we didn't take super good care of. I could argue that this technique is probably the most favorable to me. So don't forget to take some from the bottom up. And if it looks gross, just break it up with the next color you got. And so basically I'm saying don't neglect the top, the sides, the bottom. So all I'm doing is I can see where the tendril is. I'm just starting above it and just pretending like I'm swinging. Maybe this one's gonna go this way. I could probably fiddle with this all day. Then you're going to use your smaller paintbrush and come in and you're going to put some detail work in there. Little detail tendrils. Oops, I don't love that one. I'm going to get some water. I'm going to take and pull out a little bit of paint in my water. Skipping a little bit. You guys know I like to blend a little with my fingers. Grab some white. And just make yourself happy. There are so many other ways you can do this. I thought that some of you that are just getting started might appreciate 3 easy tutorials. Okay. Outline if you must or want to. I just wanted to show you one more finishing step when you have your wood. I can't show you on the other 2 pieces because, hello, I don't have an edge. And what do I mean by that? Okay, I'm going to take a little piece of sponge, and it's just my cheap sponges. Again, Amazon. It says Amazon Basic, but somebody recently said they can get the same thing at Target. I'm going to got it damp. I squeezed out all the water. I'm gonna go into the black. Let's see, are we dry? And I'm gonna take most of it off. Then I'm just going to hold it at an angle, kind of go around it and give it some grounding. So this shading in the corner finishes it off a little bit and visually with your eye, so that when you hit it with your eye, you're like, stop. Okay, do it at the top if you want. It's a little stain. Do you want to put a little in there with that? Yeah, I don't like to use the sponge inside. I can't control it enough. All right, so if it's too much, if you make a mistake, it doesn't have to be perfect. When it dries, you're gonna see what you have, and whether you use the chip brush, the rake brush, or a paintbrush that has seen better days, and of course mine's in my water bucket, you can get very similar looks. I actually think I prefer this one. So this was my original. The only thing I did different is I played for a little bit longer, and I believe I used, no I didn't, I used the rake brush for this one. When I finished, I used both the white and the black tulip to put dots and squiggles, which is a different day's tutorial. So hopefully this will help you get the gnome of your dream and inspire you to make your crafts. Have a good day. Happy Monday tutorial, guys. Bye-bye.